welcome to Emerald Lake. It's me, Raven. My voice is a bit funny. I can't tell how much is weird because I sound funny or because my mic is weird. But I know things are weird. But hello, everybody. We're back to Folktales again tonight. Good to see you guys. Hello, hello. Welcome in. I'm sorry I had a little bit of a late start. Like I said, the mic was sounding weird, so I didn't know if I was getting things sorted. Had to bounce around, get water filled and all that too. Okay, so come here, Bookie. We have sorry, little noises while Raven prepares because she didn't get her things together. Tsukuyomi, how's my day been? Mine's been good. How's yours been? How's everybody doing? Oh, nope, not what I'm trying to pick. Thank you. Okay, this is an interesting title for the first story. My goodness. Good, good. I'm glad it's good. Very interesting first title. Okay. It looks like it's like a slightly longer one. It looks like it's a longer one. I'll say that we'll probably break halfway through just because you guys have been a very good distract today. And I doubt that we'll go straight through. So I'll put that up in a second. Yeah, that's a good. Hi, Jotaro. Just so you know, my name's Raven. Obsidian Reads is like the name for the channel is what I did. I'm Raven. But I understand the confusion because I could have named myself better. But okay. And by myself I mean my channel. You know what I mean. Okay. Here we go. Where does the obsidian come from? I like when people ask. So I like the dark green. Oh, and I meant to do this too. Watch the magic. Wow. I like the dark green to black. And it's very much in Emerald Lake like coloring, and it's kind of also to me a metaphor of how like murky it is because it's black but it's actually green, really dark green. Stop making excuses for your bread brain. This isn't an excuse for bread brain. This was well thought out. Thank you very much. But then additionally, you should see some Apache tears. What's Apache tears? What do you mean? What are you talking about? The brain. There, I found my thought. I am Emerald Lake, and I'm Raven. Raven being a synonym for black, and emerald, being a synonym. It is the green. Obsidian is kind of the both, So Emerald Lake and Raven got put together for obsidian. And it's like, it's not a person and a verb. It's an adjective and a noun. The reeds are, every one of my streams is a reed, or most of my streams is a reed. Because I am doing a read when I'm reading, right? Anyway, okay. People can not get it, it's fine. It was for me more than for you guys, so yeah. Maybe I'll change the channel name at some point and it'll just be Raven Reads, but I don't know. I like Obsidian Reads, is what I like. And Of course, now my headphones are being weird. What the heck is happening? I think, like, it's getting to the point, guys, where I'm nervous. I might, like, kind of really need a new mic. It's a problem that I can't hear myself. I don't like it. Okay, I can hear myself right now. I like that instead of having, yeah, sorry to squeak. I like that the little frog, instead of being a crying frog, is a popcorn frog. Like, he's like, oh, you're threatening me? This is chill. I don't care. That was a gym floor squeak? Yeah, it did kind of sound like that. It was actually a mic stand squeak, but it very much gave gym floor squeak. It very much was giving that energy. Okay, are we ready for the story? Are we ready for the story reveal? I get close. We ready? It is The Wonderful Exploits of Grasshopper. Yay! Popcorn times. Yay! Again, this is from the Indian Fairy Book for our next section of Folktales. So here we go. It sounded like a smoke detector battery beep. Oh, yeah, a little bit. Alright. Oh, wait. Mike, why are you quiet now? Everything's being weird. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna clear my throat. Okay, here we go. No, it's not 4 a.m. I feel like that's a reference that I don't know. Okay. The Wonderful Exploits of Grasshopper. Here we go. Oh, that happened to you yesterday. Like the battery beep in smoke detector randomly. It's unfortunate, especially at 4 a.m. if you're sleeping. Okay. Okay, dang it. It woke you up? Oh my gosh, that sucks. I'm so sorry. Smoke alarms only beep low battery at 4 a.m. when you're asleep. Never when you're awake. It knows when you're awake. Sorry, okay. The story. Here we go. A man of small stature, found himself standing alone on a prairie. He thought to himself, how came I here? Are there no beings on this earth but myself? I must travel and see. I must walk till I find the abodes of men. So soon as his mind was made up, he set out. He knew not whither in search of habitations. He was a resolute little fellow, and no difficulties could turn him from his purpose. Neither prairies, rivers, woods, nor storms had the effect to daunt his courage or turn him back. After traveling a long time, he came to a wood, in which he saw decayed stumps of trees, as if they had been cut in ancient times, but no other trace of men. Pursuing his journey, he found more recent marks of the same kind. After this, he came upon fresh traces of human beings. First their footsteps, and then the wood they had felled, lying in heaps. Pushing on, he emerged toward dusk from the forest, and beheld at a distance a large village of high lodges standing on rising ground. I was so mad I got grabbed. Oh no, really? Got it edited. Well, I'm glad you got it. I hope you fixed the battery situation. Because it is a very important thing. Okay. I am tired of this dog trot, he said to himself. I will arrive there on a run. Oh, okay, so he's like, this is boring. I'm gonna run. It broke when it hit the tar. Uh-oh. Well, then I guess you gotta get a new one and figure out, because I've heard that when you break them, that doesn't make them stop screeching. I don't know. I've never had that happen. But good luck. Okay, so he's gonna run. He started off with all his speed. On coming to the first lodge, without any special exertion, he jumped over it and found himself standing by the door on the other side. Those within saw something pass over the opening in the roof. They thought from the shadow it cast that it must have been some huge bird, and then they heard a thump upon the ground. "What is that?" they all said, and several ran out to see. Ordered a new one, it will be here tomorrow. Okay, that's good. Yes, they ran out to see what the heck it was. They invited him in, and he found himself in company with an old chief and several men who were seated in the lodge. Meat was set before him, after which the old chief asked him whither he was going, and what was his name. He answered that he was in search of adventures, and that his name was Grasshopper, thus his big hopping. They all opened their eyes upon the stranger with a broad stare. "Grasshopper," whispered one to another, and a general titter went around. A titter. They invited him to stay with them, which he was inclined to do, for it was a pleasant village, but so small as to constantly embarrass Grasshopper. Okay, so it's too small. It would be, I don't know how that's embarrassing exactly, but okay, it's too small. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, geez. Okay. I keep square 9 voltmeters so it never beeps, but once or twice on me. Beavis and Butthead intensifies. What? I have batteries, but I was too tired to deal with it. Very fair. At 4 a.m.? Yeah. Okay. I guess this is what's supposed to embarrass him. I kind of read ahead. He was in perpetual trouble whenever he shook hands with a stranger to whom he might be introduced. Such was the abundance of his strength, without meaning it, he wrung his arm off at the shoulder. So that's why probably he's being embarrassed, because he can't get away from the new people that he went and ripped the arms off of, I guess. You said oh, that's why. Oh, you had work in 2 hours? Yeah, very fair to just be very mad at your fire alarm then. Okay. Once or twice, in mere sport, he cuffed the boys about the lodge by the side of the head, and they flew out of sight as though they had been shot from a bow. So he's too strong. Nor could they ever be found again. So he just eliminated some children. That's fun. Though they were searched for in all the country round, far and wide. Really, they're nowhere to be found. Oh my gosh. Okay. If Grasshopper proposed to himself a short stroll in the morning, he was at once miles out of town. When he entered a lodge, if he happened for a moment to forget himself, he walked straight through the leathern or wooden or earthen walls, as if he had been merely passing through a bush. At his meals he broke in pieces all the dishes, set them down as lightly as he could, and putting a leg out of bed when he rose, it was a common thing for him to push off the top of the lodge. What? Okay, so he's just insanely strong. Better the arms than a praying mantis losing its head. I mean, true. He wanted more elbow room, and after a short stay in which, by the accidentally letting go of his strength, he had nearly laid waste to the whole place and filled it with demolished lodges and broken pottery and one-armed men, he made up his mind to go further, taking with him a young man who had formed a strong attachment for him, and who might serve him as his pipe-bearer, for Grasshopper was a huge smoker, and vast clouds followed him wherever he went, so that people could say, "Grasshopper is coming," by the mighty smoke he raised. It's 4 a.m. for you. Go to bed. Hi, Dawn. If you need sleep, please go ahead and go sleep. We will see you when we see you. I think it's more important that you guys look after yourselves than you hang out with me. You can always find the VODs on YouTube, so you won't have to miss everything. Okay, where was I? Yawn. Wah. Okay, okay. Look after yourself. Take care. Has my smoke alarm beeped yet? No. We test that stuff. Look after. I don't wanna have the screechy. But it is a very sensitive one, so sometimes I worry that it will go off for no good reason, because it's a little shithead. But okay. Grasshoppers coming by the smoke that he raised, yes. The British grasshoppers are coming. The British grasshoppers. No, it's just the grasshopper. But I get you. Okay. Not mine, Adon's. Oh, okay. Oh, you tuck Adon in. Good. Okay. They set out together, his companion guy, with him. And when his companion was fatigued with walking, Grasshopper would put him forward on his journey a mile or two by giving him a cast in the air and lighting him in a soft place among the trees, or in a cool spot in a water pond among the sedges and water lilies. At other times he would lighten the way by showing off a few tricks, such as leaping over trees and turning around on one leg till he made the dust fly, at which the pipe bearer was mightily pleased, although it sometimes happened that the character of these gambols frightened him, for Grasshopper would, without the least hint of such intention, jump into the air far ahead, and it would cost the little pipe bearer half a day's hard travel to come up with him, and then the dust Grasshopper raised was often so thick and heavy as to completely bury the poor little pipe bearer, and compel Grasshopper to dig diligently and with might and main to get him out alive. Frickin' heck. This is reading very much like a superhero that doesn't control their strength and is endangering the people they care about. It's very funny. Okay. One day they came to a very large village, where they were well received. After staying in it sometimes, in the course of which Grasshopper, in a fit of abstraction, walked straight through the sides of 3 lodges without stopping to look for the door, they were informed of a number of wicked spirits who lived at a distance and who made it a practice to kill all who came to their lodge. Attempts had been made to destroy them, but they had always proved more than a match for such as had come out against them. Grasshopper determined to pay them a visit, although he was strongly advised not to do so. The chief of the village warned him of the great danger he would incur, but finding Grasshopper resolved, he said, "Well, if you will go, being my guest, I will send 20 warriors to serve you." Grasshopper thanked him for the offer, although he suggested that he thought he could get along without them, at which the little pipe bearer grinned, for his master had never shown in that village what he could do, and the chief thought that Grasshopper, being little himself, would be likely to need 20 warriors at the least to encounter the wicked spirits with any chance of success. 20 young men made their appearance. They set forward, and after about a day's journey they descried the lodge of the Manitoes. Grasshopper placed his friend, the pipe bearer, and the warriors near enough to see all that passed, while he went alone to the lodge. As he entered, ah! Frickin' yawns. Oh my goodness. Oh, the cozy frog being threatened. I love that he doesn't seem to care. He's just all right there. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Frickin' little burpo. Ah! Bright coat the deranged. Welcome in. Hello. Get cozy. Hello, hello. Okay. Grasshopper placed his friend, the pipe bearer, and the warriors near enough to see all that passed, while he went alone to the lodge. As he entered, Grasshopper saw 5 horrid-looking manitoes in the act of eating. It was the father and his 4 sons. They were really hideous to look upon. Their eyes were swimming low in their heads, and they glared about as if they were half-starved. They offered Grasshopper something to eat, which he politely refused, for he had a strong suspicion that it was the thigh bone of a man. "What have you come for?" said the old one. "Nothing," answered Grasshopper. "Where is your uncle?" They all stared at him and answered, "We ate him yesterday. What do you want?" "Nothing," said Grasshopper. "Where is your grandfather?" They all answered with another broad stare, "We ate him a week ago. Do you not wish to wrestle?" "Yes," replied Grasshopper. "I don't mind if I do take a turn, but you must be easy with me, for you see, I am very little." Just vibing. Hi, Pat. Aw, cuties. Hi, Scooby. Good to see you. So they're gonna wrestle, I guess. Pipe bearer, who stood near enough to overhear the conversation. Ah! A frickin' yawn attacking. Oh my goodness. I'm getting cozy and a little eepy. Darn. Ooh, 15% Riz. Oof, I'm sorry. DJ with 102 though. Damn. Wow. Okay. Right. Pipe bearer, who stood near enough to overhear the conversation, grinned from ear to ear when he caught this remark. The manitoes answered, "Oh yes, we will be easy with you." And as they said this, they looked at each other and rolled their eyes about in a dreadful manner. A hideous smile came over their faces as they whispered among themselves. "It's a pity he's so thin. You go," they said to the eldest brother. The two got ready, the manito and the grasshopper, and they were soon clinched in each other's arms for a deadly throw. Oh. The 12 is pretty good, though, Scooby. The 12's effective. The love, though, that's a lie. That's just not real. DJ seems to be getting mostly good, but the love is very bad. That's another lie. But you got a 19, freaking dang. I know it. Freaking yawns. Oh my gosh. Okay. Alright, they're going in for the wrestling. They're clinched on each other's arms for a deadly throw. Grasshopper knew their object, his death. They wanted a taste of his delicate little body. His delicate little body. They want to taste his delicate little body. Anyway, okay. Oh, Scooby, I just think you got the worst luck with the bots. The bots don't like you. It's a lie. DJ's on fire tonight. Ha ha ha. Oh my gosh, Sean. Freaking yawnings. Okay. My brain is split. I am feeling it. The brain has turning to bread. Your highest love was 105? Damn. Well, I see the stretch. A stretch is a good idea. Let's get the stretch. Okay. Yeah, DJ just got a 102. I have it set that you could go from 1 to 110. 196? Damn, no. 106, yeah. Okay. I think I'm set. Thank you for the stretch. Alright. His delicate little body, that's where we're at. Oh my gosh. I told you, it's 110. Okay, what the heck? Headphones. Are you gonna cooperate? No, I'm not gonna cooperate. No, still not really doing good. Okay, well that's better. Okay. 19? No, but 17. You got a 17. That's pretty good. Okay. Brain. Yes. Right, they were saying the point is that they want to eat the guy. 15. Nice, Crummy. Welcome in, Crummy. They wanted to eat Grasshopper. That's the point. Though they said it in such a way, my goodness. They wanted a taste of his delicate little body. Ooh. Okay, and he was determined they should have it. What? Perhaps in a different sense from what they intended. Does that mean he does want what? I think this Grasshopper is kind of into these Manitos. I don't know what they're doing with this. This is so silly. Oh my gosh. How else are they getting a taste for him? What do you mean? Is that supposed to be a phrase for like you kick their butt? Cause I don't. Anyway, okay. Roll for taste. 7. You did not get good taste. Jotaro, you rolled a 1. I'm so sorry. The little no. Oh. Yeah, that little guy. Oh, wait. The fly. Freaking fly. We gotta get that fly. Hi, El Chiquitas. Oh, I had pets for El Chiquitas. That's so sweet. Especially since I'm expecting violence. Okay. Oh no. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Ha ha. Ha. They cried. Um. You slapped yourself, DJ, when you slap like that. And yep, El Chiquitas gave me a slap. Of course you did. Classic. Yep. It's a love slap, I know, but ow. Still ow. Okay, Sorry, where was I? Ha. That was my first ever slap I got. Yes, you got your own slap. Like my slap, it's love. I know it's love, but it's still ow. It is still a slap. I know you mean love, but it's still violence. Okay, so they say ha ha, and soon the dust and dry leaves flew about as if driven by a strong wind. The Manitou was strong, but Grasshopper thought he could master him, and all at once giving him a sly trip as the wicked spirit was trying to finish his breakfast with a piece out of his shoulder, he sent the manito head foremost against a stone, and calling aloud to the three others, he bade them come and take the body away. Ah, you can't roll as soon. There's big cooldowns on each of those little commands, 'cause it got chaotic. I mean, there are times when you guys run them all at once, all of you, and it gets big chaos. So, yeah, I don't know what the cooldown specifically for roll is, but it's somewhere. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so he bade them come take the body away. The brothers now stepped forth in quick succession, but Grasshopper, having got his blood up and limbered himself by exercise, soon dispatched the three, sending one this way, another that, and the third straight up into the air, so high that he never came down again. Don't know what he hit in the sky, but something. It was time for the old manito to be frightened, and dreadfully frightened he got, and ran for his life, which was the very worst thing he could have done, for Grasshopper, of all his gifts of strength, was most noted for his speed of foot. The old manito set off, and for mere sport's sake, Grasshopper pursued him. Sometimes he was where the wicked old spirit. Sometimes he was before the wicked old spirit. Sometimes he was flying over his head, and then he would keep along at a steady trot just at his heels till he had blown all the breath out of the old knave's body. So funny that this has been, written out with knave. All of these stories, the folk tales for North America stories, were the way they're written out like this in this very fairy tale, old-timey words, or bigger words, is entertaining. But it's all translated or all rewritten in English. It's not how it's normally, told, of course. It's normally told in whatever language is relevant. Unfortunately, we don't know for this book what languages these would be, but it's so funny. Oh, thank you for the hug. Oh my goodness. That's my 69th hug. Nice. Ooh. Thank you for the hug. Thank you for the number 69. That's fun. That's very fun. Okay. Meantime, his friend, Grasshopper's friend, the pipe bearer, and the 20 young warriors cried out, "Ha ha! Ah! Ha ha ha! Grasshopper is driving him before him." Just to say, he's chasing him from ahead of him. He's so fast, and all that. The manito only turned his head now and then to look back. At length, when he was tired of the sport, to be rid of him, Grasshopper, with a gentle application of his foot, sent the wicked old manito whirling away through the air, in which he made a great number of the most curious turnovers in the world, so he did a bunch of flips, I guess, till he came to a light, when it so happened that he fell astride of an old bull buffalo grazing in a distant pasture, who straightway set off with him at a long gallop, and the old manito has not been heard of to this day. So he lands, after being sent up in the air and doing a bunch of flips, he lands on top of a male buffalo that had been grazing in a pasture, and that buffalo's response was just to run, and they've never been seen since. But the warriors and the pipe bearer and Grasshopper set to work and burned down the lodge of the wicked spirits. And then, when they came to look about, they saw that the ground was strewn on all sides with human bones bleaching in the sun. Yeah, they were eating people. These were the unhappy victims of the manitos. Grasshopper then took 3 arrows from his girdle, and after having performed a ceremony to the Great Spirit, he shot one into the air, crying, You are lying down. Rise up, or you will be hit." The bones all moved to one place. He shot the second arrow, repeating the same words. When each bone drew toward its fellow bone, the third arrow brought forth to life the whole multitude of people who had been killed by the Manitos. Wow, okay. Magic Grasshopper healing man. Grasshopper conducted the crowd to the chief of the village, who had proved his friend, and gave them into his hands. The chief was there with his counselors, to whom he spoke apart. "Oh, hello, Brimmo Blade. Hello, hello. Welcome in. You little cute wave. Hi." Okay. We're just partially through this story. Grasshopper, he's very, very strong. He's doing some stuffs. We're following. We're finding out what all he do. Okay. "Who is more worthy," said the chief to Grasshopper, "to rule than you? You alone can defend them." Grasshopper thanked him and told him that he was in search of more adventures. "I have done some things," said little Grasshopper rather boastfully, "and I think I can do some more." The chief still urged him, but he was eager to go, and naming Pipe Bearer to tarry and take his place, he set out again on his travels, promising that he would some time or other come back and see them. "Ho, ho, ho," they all cried, "come back again and see us." He renewed his promise that he would, and then set out alone. After traveling some time, he came to a great lake, and on looking about he discovered a very large otter on an island. He thought to himself, "His skin will make me a fine pouch," and he immediately drew up at long shots and drove an arrow into his side. He waded into the lake, and with some difficulty dragged him ashore and up a hill overlooking the lake. As soon as Grasshopper got the otter into the sunshine where it was warm, he skinned him, and threw the carcass some distance off, thinking the war eagle would come, and that he should have a chance to secure his feathers as ornaments for the head, for Grasshopper began to be proud, and was disposed to display himself. So he's hoping to leave that carcass to lure in the eagle and get a nice headdress. He soon heard a rushing noise as of a loud wind, but could see nothing. Presently a large eagle dropped as if from the air, probably, upon the otter's carcass. Grasshopper drew his bow, and the arrow passed through under both of his wings. The bird made a convulsive flight upward with such force that the cumbrous body was borne up several feet from the ground, but with its claws deeply fixed, the heavy otter brought the eagle back to earth. Grasshopper possessed himself of a handful of the prime feathers, crowned his head with the trophy, and set off in high spirits on the lookout for something new. So he just kind of plucked the eagle instead of shooting it, because he failed to shoot it, but he got a few feathers. He got what he wanted. After walking a while, he came to a body of water which flooded the trees on its banks. It was a lake made by beavers. Taking his station, he raised the dam where the stream escaped. He watched to see whether any of the beavers would show themselves. A head presently peeped out of the water to see who it was that disturbed them. "My friend," said Grasshopper, in his most persuasive manner, "could you not oblige me by turning me into a beaver like yourself? Nothing would please me so much as to make your acquaintance, I can assure you." For Grasshopper was curious to know how these watery creatures lived, and what kind of notions they had. "All right." "I do not know," replied the beaver, who was rather short-nosed and surly. "I will go and ask the others. Meanwhile, stay where you are, if you please." "To be sure," answered the Grasshopper, stealing down the bank several paces as soon as the beaver's back was turned. Presently there was a great splashing of the water, and all the beavers showed their heads and looked warily to where he stood, to see if he was armed. But he had knowingly left his bow and arrows in a hollow tree at a short distance. After a long conversation, which they conducted in a whisper so that Grasshopper could not catch a word, strain his ears as he would, they all advanced in a body toward the spot where he stood. The chief approaching the nearest and lifting his head highest out of the water. "Can you not," said the Grasshopper, noticing that they waited for him to speak first, "turn me into a beaver? I wish to live among you." "Yes," answered their chief, "lie down." And Grasshopper in a moment found himself a beaver, and was gliding into the water, when a thought seemed to strike him, and he paused at the edge of the lake. "I am very small," he said to the beaver in a sorrowful tone. "You must make me large," he said, for Grasshopper was terribly ambitious and wanted always to be the first person in every company. "Larger than any of you. In my present size, it's hardly worth my while to go into the water." "Yes, yes," said they, "by and by, when we get into the lodge, it shall be done." They all dived into the lake, and in passing great heaps of limbs and logs at the bottom, he asked the use of them. They answered, "It is for our winter's provisions." When they all got into the lodge, their number was about 100. The lodge was large and warm. "Now we will make you large," said they. "Will that do?" "Yes," he answered, for he found that he was 10 times the size of the largest. That feels like too large, but okay. "You need not go out," said the others. "We will bring you food into the lodge, and you will be our chief." "Very well," Grasshopper answered. He thought, "I will stay here and grow fat at their expense." But soon after, one ran into the lodge out of breath, crying out, "We are visited by the Indians." All huddled together in great fear. The water began to lower, for the hunters had broken down the dam, and they soon heard them on the roof of the lodge, breaking it up. Out jumped all the beavers into the water, and so escaped. Grasshopper tried to follow them, but unfortunately, to gratify his ambition, they had made him so large that he could not creep out at the hole. He tried to call them back, but either they did not hear or would not attend to him. He worried himself so much in searching for a door to let him out that he looked like a great bladder swollen and blistering in the sun, and the sweat stood out upon his forehead in knobs and huge bubbles. Although he heard and understood every word that the hunters spoke, and some of their expressions suggested terrible ideas, he could not turn himself back into a man. He had chosen to be a beaver, and a beaver he must be. One of the hunters, a prying little man with a single lock dangling over one eye, this inquisitive little fellow put his head in at the top of the lodge. "Tai-ao," cried he, "tut-tai-ao, me shao mik, king of beavers, is in." Just seeing here a couple of emotes. Those are cute little guys. Like the little bounce in the guy's ears. Okay. Right, he said the king of beavers is in, whereupon the whole crowd of hunters began upon him with their clubs, and knocked his skull about until it was no harder than a morass in the middle of summer. Grasshopper thought as well as he ever did, although he was a beaver, and he felt that he was in a rather foolish scrape, inhabiting the carcass of a beaver. Presently 7 or 8 of the hunters hoisted his body upon long poles and marched away home with him. As they went, he reflected in this manner: "What will become of me? My ghost or shadow will not die after they get me to their lodges." Invitations were immediately sent out for a grand feast, but as soon as his body got cold, his soul being uncomfortable in a house without heat, flew off. Ooh, okay, so I guess his soul left and he's become himself again. This is interesting. Hi, Turt. Rar. Having reassumed his mortal shape, Grasshopper found himself standing near a prairie. After walking a distance, he saw a herd of elk feeding, so we just got yeeted out, just ejected out of the dead body, and back to your normal self again? That's an interesting way to cheat your death. That's funny. Okay. He saw a herd of elk feeding. He admired their apparent ease and enjoyment of life, and thought there could be nothing more pleasant than the liberty of running about and feeding on the prairies. Oh boy, this is going to be one of those repetition ones, isn't it? He's about to be an elk and get murdered, and something else and get murdered. It's going to be something. Okay. Oh no. Frickin' yawns. Okay. He had been a water animal, and now he wished to become a land animal, to learn what passed in an elk's head as he roved about. He asked them if they could not turn him into one of themselves. Yes, they answered after a pause. Get down on your hands and feet. He obeyed their directions, and forthwith found himself to be an elk. I want big horns, big feet, said he. I wish to be very large. For all the conceit and vainglory had not been knocked out of Grasshopper, even by the sturdy thwacks of the hunters' clubs. Yes, yes, they answered. There, exerting their power, are ye big enough? That will do, he replied, for looking into a lake hard by, Grasshopper saw that he was very large. They spent oh my goodness, hold on, I got a cough. Okay. They spent their time in grazing and running to and fro, but what astonished Grasshopper, although he often lifted up his head and directed his eyes that way, he could never see the stars, which he had so admired as a human being. Being rather cold, one day Grasshopper went into a thick wood for shelter, whither he was followed by most of the herd. They had not been there long when some elks from behind passed the others like a strong wind, calling out, "The hunters are after us." All took the alarm, and off they ran, Grasshopper with the rest. Keep out of the plains, they said, but it was too late to profit by this advice, for they had already got entangled in the thick woods. Grasshopper soon scented the hunters, who were closely following his trail, for they had left all the others and were making after him in full cry. He jumped furiously, dashed through the underwood, and broke down whole groves of sapling in his flight, but this only made it the harder for him to get on. Such a huge and lusty elk was he by his own request. So he was making things flatter for them to follow him easier. And he can't choose that because he's just too big. Presently, as he dashed past an open space, he felt an arrow in his side. They could not well miss it. He presented so wide a mark to the shot. He bounded over trees, under the smart, but the shafts clattered thicker and thicker at his ribs. Oh goodness, okay. Get out of here, fly. Every time I'm like, I could probably try and clap him. Said, while I'm talking, or just in my face, why? Okay. I couldn't miss it, da-da-da. He bounded over trees under the smart, but the shafts clattered thicker and thicker at his ribs. And at last one entered his heart. He fell off to the ground and heard the whoop of triumph sounded by the hunters. On coming up, they looked on the carcass with astonishment, and with their hands up to their mouths exclaimed, "Tai-ah, tai-ah." There were about 60 in the party who had come out on a special hunt, as one of their number had the day before observed his large tracks on the plains. When they had skinned him, his flesh grew cold, and his spirit took its flight from the dead body, and Grasshopper found himself, in human shape, with a bow and arrows. I don't know how he got the bow and arrows this time. Maybe because, that's how he died? I don't know. But, yeah. We're at about halfway I think that this is a good time to break for the redeems. And so, yeah, we know it's gonna go again. Yeah, he's about to go in the sky. He said water and then land. Ta-da! He's gonna go to the sky. So you know where this is gonna go. We'll pick it up in a minute. Let's do some redeems. Because Turtle Boy is getting EP and needs to be put to sleep. Ha ha ha. Okay. I saw your chat. I just didn't read it fully. First one. Frog. Okay. There we go. Da-da-da! Singing frog time. And then we'll do the rage puffing and the keys. Yeah. Okay. And then mic arc sharpening. Ooh, okay. Here we go. Da-da-da-da. Singing frog. And there was our singing frog. Lovely little frog. Here we go. Rage puffin. Oh, good night, DJ. Go ahead and lurk around. We'll see you when we see ya. Sleep well. Yes, time to rage. Rage. Raging. Raging. Okay. I feel like I'm crazy. I can't with the rage puffing. I'm too tired to deal with rage puffing nonsense. Raven needs sleeps. It's becoming very clear. Okay, keys is next. Maybe that caffeine will help. Okay. before I fully go, I know save my stream and truly me Ray was so good at Aww. Thank you, Turt. You're so nice. You're needlessly nice. That's so sweet. I don't know if I deserve that. That is very nice of you. I'm just moving, but my model thought that she'd fall asleep there. I don't know what that was about. But okay. I'll do your keys, your favorite, I know. So, thank you, Tart. Sleep well. Sleep well. Okay. Okay, there was our keys. I hope everybody's feeling good and eepy. Next, we're gonna do mic arm sharpening. So I'm gonna move the mic. It might get very loud. This is your warning. And I'll say, Turt, I love that little emote, the little keys emote. It's very sweet. It's very cute. I couldn't tell what it was in its small form. I had to hover, and I was like, what in the heck? These keys. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, mic arm sharpening. So I'm gonna move the mic, and it might be very loud. You have been warned. Okay, I think. Yeah, okay, it's not so bad. Alright, it's good. 2 sniffs. Lahonk, I think I'm. Lahonk. Lahonk, can you hear me? I will be doing your sniffs at the next break because we've already got a sniffs. But thank you very much. Okay. As mic arm sharpening. There we go. Scissor snip. I feel like that's a dangerous idea. That's how you chop off the tip of your nose. Okay, we're gonna do sharpening now. Here we go. There was our mic arm sharpening. Yes, that was very good sharpening our knife. That was good. Always ready for your little violence. Yes, yes, yes. I'm gonna move the mic back. So I warn you if there is bonkins, poppins. So no big pops or bonks, but lots of creakiness. Okay, we'll do one of the sniffs, then we'll do scissor snips and glass jar tappies, and then I think we'll go back to the story. If you want to put more in after that, okay, but we'll do it at the next break. I won't get to it just yet. Sniffs. I'm just gonna get some water. Okay. There were sniffs. Why am I crying? Ha 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 ha. Very funny, Brady. I'm not crying, I'm doing a big sniffs. Big snifferoonie. Okay, now it's scissor snips. Okay, I know I'm hilarious. Don't laugh too much. You're so silly. It's good to have you, Brady. Okay, now we do our scissor snips. Let's go. And there were scissor snips. Ba-dum. Okay, last one before our next story is gonna be glass jar tappies. Let's go, glass jar. Which is just a candle, if you don't know. My glass jar is candle. Okay. Come on over, candle. Here we go. just had a thought. I have as I tap on this candle and smell it, because it's right up to my face at the mic. I'm not going to be allowed to light this candle, am I? Because I have to have it as it is for the glass jar tappies. I won't be able to light this candle. Wow. I'm not particularly upset about it. I like the smell here. Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Away you go. And now we'll move back to the story and we'll keep reading. Let's get this back. Okay. And I gotta scroll back down. Okay. Do. Okay, and that's where we were. Alright, cool. Alright, and now we're on the wonderful exploits of Grasshopper again. Here we go. Ta-da-da! Picking up at. So, our man, Grasshopper, he was doing the transform into animals. He's done the water, he's done the land. You know he's gonna do air. So, yeah, he's died as the elk. He was shot with an arrow, and now he's come back alive with bow and arrows in his hand. And he's back in a random place again. Back in the plains. But here we go. But his passion for adventure was not yet cooled. For on coming to a large lake with a sandy beach, he saw a large flock of brant, which is a bird, and speaking to them in the brant language, he requested them to make a brant of him. Yes, they replied at once, for the brant is a bird of very obliging disposition. But I want to be very large, he said. There is no end to the ambition of little Grasshopper. I like the way this story is every time just like disappointed in how he always wants to be bigger. It's saying it as ambition, but I'm like, I'm getting overcompensation. Because he's always been small, because he's a grasshopper. Anyway, I'm waiting for the point in time where he gets turned into an actual tiny little grasshopper. Because usually that's how these stories go. And that's why the grasshopper is like this now. Oh, Jotaro, you gotta head out. Alright. Take care, sleep well, eat good. Oh, goodness. Hold on, I gotta mute. Okay. Oh, good. Glad you tucked yourself in. I would have tucked, but yes. Oh, sleep well. We'll see you when we see you. Have a good eep. What was I? Okay. They were saying his ambition, right? He wants to be big again. Very well, they answered, and he soon found himself a large brant, which I imagine would just look like a Canada goose, really. Okay. All the others standing, gazing in astonishment at his great size. You must fly as leader, they said. No, answered Grasshopper, I will fly behind. Don't know why, but okay. Very well, rejoined the brant. One thing more we have to say to you, brother Grasshopper, for he had told them his name. You must be careful in flying, not to look down, for something may happen to you. I don't know why looking down is the problem, but okay. Well, it is so, said he, and soon the flock rose up into the air, and they were bound north. They flew very fast, he behind. One day, while going with a strong wind as swift as their wings could flap, as they passed over a large village, the Indians raised a great shout on seeing them, particularly on Grasshopper's account, for his wings were broader than two large mats. The village people made such a frightful noise that he forgot what he had been told about looking down. They were now scudding along as swift as arrows, and as soon as he brought his neck in and stretched it down to look at the hunters, or look at the shouters, his huge tail was caught by the wind, and over he was blown. He tried to right himself, but without success, for he had no sooner got out of the heavy air current than he fell into another, which treated him even more rudely than that he had escaped from. The wind was being rude. I like that. Down he went, making more turns than he wished for, from a height of several miles. The first moment he had to look about him, Grasshopper, in the shape of a big brant, was aware that he was jammed into a large, hollow tree. To get backward or forward was out of the question, and there, in spite of himself, was Grasshopper forced to tarry till his brant life was ended by starvation. When his spirit being at liberty, he was once more a human being. So that time he just starved to death. Unfortunate. As he journeyed on in search of further adventures, Grasshopper came to a lodge in which were two old men, with heads white from extreme age. They were very fine old men to look at. I just realized extreme age, because this is, like fairy tale age, a good few hundred years ago at minimum, right? This is published in 1860s or something, so a couple hundred years ago at the most minimum, but probably this story was told a bunch before even that. So old enough to have white hair is extremely old. Not just gray hairs, but all your hair white. It's just silly. Okay. They were very fine old men to look at, so apparently they're still pretty. There was such sweetness and innocence in their features that Grasshopper would have enjoyed himself very much at their lodge, if he had had no further entertainment than such as the gazing upon the serene and happy faces of the two innocent old men with heads white from extreme age afforded. They treated him well, and he made known to them that he was going back to his village. Sorry, I can feel that there's like a pop in my back that needs to happen. I don't know how to get it. Well, maybe I got it. I don't know. Okay. He said he was going to go back to his village, his friends and people, whereupon the two white-headed old men very heartily wished him a good journey and abundance of comfort in seeing his friends once more. They even arose, old and infirm as they were, and tottering with exceeding difficulty to the door, were at great pains to point out to him the exact course he should take. So these guys are being very, very nice. And they called his attention to the circumstance that it was much shorter and more direct than he would have taken himself. Ah, what merry deceivers were these two old men with very white heads. Oh, they're liars. Okay, what are they doing? Okay. Grasshopper, with blessings showered on him until he was fairly out of sight, set forth with good heart, but thought he heard loud laughter resounding after him in the direction of the lodge of the two old men. But it could not have been the two old men, for they were certainly too old to laugh. Oh boy, so he got tricked by some old guys. I don't know what that's about, but okay. He walked briskly all day, and at night he had the satisfaction of reaching a lodge in all respects like that which he had left in the morning. There were two fine old men, and his treatment was in every particular the same, even down to the parting blessing and the laughter that followed him as he went his way. Oh boy, okay. After walking the third day and coming to a lodge the same as before, he was satisfied from the bearings of the course he had taken that he had been journeying in a circle, and by a notch which he had cut in the door-post, that these were the same two old men all along, and that despite their innocent faces and their very white heads, they had been playing him a sorry trick. Wow. Okay. Sorry. I mean, old guys gotta keep themselves entertained somehow. I mean, what did you expect? Who are you, said Grasshopper, to treat me so? Come forth, I say. They were compelled to obey his summons, lest in his anger he should take their lives, and they appeared on the outside of the lodge. We must have a trial of speed now, said Grasshopper. A race? They asked. We are very old, we cannot run. We will see, said Grasshopper, whereupon he set them out upon the road, and then he gave them a gentle push, which put them in motion. Then he pushed them again harder and harder, until they got under fine headway, when he gave each of them an astounding shock with his foot, and they flew, and off they flew at a great rate, round and round the course, and such was the magic virtue of the foot of Grasshopper that no object, once set going by it, could by any possibility stop. Ooh. Okay, so if he kicks you, it goes on forever. That's crazy. Oh, good night, Brimoblade. You're headed to bed. Take a good sleep well. We'll see you when we see you. I'll be back on tomorrow, though. More streams tomorrow, I mean. Okay. What's the magic virtue? See you tomorrow? Okay, I look forward to it. Hopefully we see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Sleep well. Eat well. Okay, so if he kicks it, it's never gonna stop. It'll go out into space if he kicks it that direction. So that, for aught we know to the contrary, the two innocent, white-headed, merry old men are trotting with all their might and main around the circle in which they beguiled Grasshopper to this day. So it's they're just saying in extra flowery ways, unless we hear of it specifically that they're not. We have to assume that they're even today still walking around that loop or running with all their might still in that circle. Continuing his journey, Grasshopper, although his head was warm and buzzing with all sorts of schemes, did not know exactly what to do until he came to a big lake. He mounted on a high hill to try and see to the other side, but he could not. He then made a canoe and sailed forth. The water was very clear, a transparent blue, and he saw that it abounded with fish of a rare and delicate complexion. This circumstance inspired him with a wish to return to his village and to bring his people to live near this beautiful lake. Well, okay. Toward evening, coming to a woody island, he encamped and ate the fish he had speared, and they proved to be as comforting to the stomach as they were pleasing to the eye. The next day Grasshopper returned to the mainland, and as he wandered along the shore, he espied at a distance the celebrated giant Manabozho, who is a bitter enemy of Grasshopper, and loses no opportunity to stop him on journeyings and to thwart his plans. Okay. At first it occurred to Grasshopper to have a trial of wits with the giant, but on second thoughts he said to himself, I am in a hurry now. I will see him another time. Well, okay. With no further mischief than raising a great whirlwind of dust, which caused Manabozho to rub his eyes severely, Grasshopper quietly slipped out of the way, and he made good speed withal, for in much less time than you could count half the stars in the sky of a winter night, he had reached home. His return was welcomed with a great hubbub of feastings and songs, and he had scarcely set foot in the village before he had invitations to take potluck at different lodges, which would have lasted him the rest of his natural life. Pipe-bearer, who had some time before given up the cares of a ruler and fallen back upon his native place, fairly danced with joy at the sight of Grasshopper, who, not to be outdone, dandled? What the heck does dandled mean? Dandled him affectionately in his arms. I feel the need to Google that. What the heck does dandled mean? Tell me, magic cube. What does dandled mean? Okay, so it's like to move like a baby or a young child up and down in a playful or affectionate way, like to bounce a baby on your knee, or like moving something lightly up and down, dandling the halter rope or something. That's interesting. I would never have known. But so he picked him up and just bounced him. Interesting. Okay. Dandled him affectionately in his arms by casting him up and down in the air a half mile or so. That is not a dandle. That's not a bouncing a baby on your knee. That's tossing them in the air. Just a yeet. But okay. Done a half mile or so till the little pipe bearer had no breath left in his body to say that he was happy to see Grasshopper home again. So he just bounced the air out of his friend. But okay. What an interesting relationship you guys have. Okay. Grasshopper gave the village folks a lively account of his adventures, and when he came to the blue lake and the abundant fish, he dwelt upon their charms with such effect that they agreed with one voice that it must be a glorious place to live in, and if he would show them the way, they would shift camp and settle there at once. He not only showed them the way, but bringing his wonderful strength and speed of foot to bear, in less than half a day he had transported the whole village, with its children, women, tents, and implements of war, to the new waterside. Ooh, I'm not totally sure how to say your name because it's a lot of consonants in one small space. But welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Jax Crow? I don't know. Welcome. We have a new tradition that we're kind of doing where we drop little dance emotes for new friends. So I'll give you these little frog jam emotes. Dance. Welcome in. Get cozy. We'll keep reading. After we end the story, we'll get to redeems. Okay. Right, they're at the waterside. Here for a time, Grasshopper appeared to be content, until one day a message came for him in the shape of a bear, who said that their king wished to see him immediately at his village. Interesting. Grasshopper was ready in an instant, and mounting upon the messenger's back, off he ran. Toward evening, they climbed a high mountain, and came to a cave where the Bear King lived. He was a very large person. And puffing with fat and a sense of his own importance, he made Grasshopper welcome by inviting him into his lodge. As soon as it was proper, he spoke, and said that he had sent for him on hearing that he was the chief who was moving a large party toward his hunting grounds. Oh, the bears eat there. You must know, said the Bear King with a terrible growl, that you have no right there, and I wish you would leave the country with your party, or else the strongest force will take possession. Take notice. Very well, replied Grasshopper, going toward the door, for he suspected that the king of the bears was preparing to give him a hug. So be it. Which is to say that, the bear would have mauled him maybe if he didn't leave. He wished to gain time and to consult his people, for he had seen as he came along that the bears were gathering in great force on the side of the mountain. He also made known to the Bear King that he would go back that night, that his people might be put in immediate possession of his royal behest. The Bear King replied that Grasshopper might do as he pleased, but that one of his young men was at his command, and jumping nimbly on his back, Grasshopper rode home. So, he rode the bear home because the king was like, okay, take one of my guys, though. Ooh. He assembled the people and ordered the bear's head cut off. So the bear he rode home, they cut off his head. to be hung outside of the village, that the bear spies who were lurking in the neighborhood might see it and carry the news to their chief. Grasshopper is looking for a war with the bears. I don't know how good an idea that is. Oh boy, okay. The next morning, by break of day, Grasshopper had all of his young warriors under arms and ready for a fight. About the middle of the afternoon, the bear war party came in sight, led on by the Pursy King, and making a tremendous noise. They advanced on their hind legs and made a very imposing display of their teeth and eyeballs. The bear chief himself came forward, and with a majestic wave of his right hand, said that he did not wish to shed the blood of the young warriors, but that if Grasshopper, who appeared to be the head of the war party, consented, they too would have a race, and the winner should kill the losing chief, and all his young men should be servants to the other. Ooh, okay. Grasshopper agreed, of course. How little Pipe Bearer, who stood by, grinned as they came to terms, and they started to run before the whole company of warriors who stood in a circle looking on. At first there was a prospect that Grasshopper would be badly beaten, for although he kept crowding the great fat Bear King till the sweat trickled from his shaggy ears, he never seemed to be able to push past him. By and by, Grasshopper, going through a number of the most extraordinary maneuvers in the world, raised about the great fat Bear King such eddies and whirlwinds with the sand, and so danced about before and after him, that he at last got fairly bewildered and cried out for them to come and take him off. Out of sight before him, in reaching the goal, Grasshopper only waited for the Bear King to come up. Then he drove an arrow straight through him and ordered them to take the body away and make it ready for supper, as he was getting hungry. Well, damn. He took them out. All right. He then directed all of the other bears to fall and to help prepare the feast, for in fulfillment of the agreement they had become servants. With many wry faces, the bears, although bound to act becomingly in their new character, according to the forfeit, served up the body of their late royal master, and in doing this they fell, either by accident or design, into many curious mistakes. When the feast came to be served up and they were summoned to be in attendance, one of them, a sprightly young fellow of an inquisitive turn of mind, was found upon the roof of the lodge with his head halfway down the smoke hole, with a view to learn what they were to have for dinner. Another, a middle-aged bear with very long arms, who was put in charge of the children in the character of nurse, squeezed 3 or 4 of the most promising young papooses to death, while the mothers were outside to look after the preparations, and another, when he should have been waiting at the back of his master, had climbed up a shady tree and was indulging in his afternoon nap, and when at last the dinner was ready to be served, they came tumbling in with the dishes, heels over head, one after the other, so that one half of the feast was spread upon the ground, and the other half deposited out of doors on the other side of the lodge. After a while, however, by strict discipline and threatening to cut off their provisions, the bear servants were brought into tolerable control. Wow, so one guy being a spy, one guy being a murderer to babies, and another one just being a very bad, kind of lazy servant. Very interesting, very interesting. Yet Grasshopper, with his ever restless disposition, was uneasy, and having done so many wonderful things, he resolved upon a strict and thorough reform in all the affairs of the village. To prevent future difficulty, he determined to adopt new regulations between the bears and their masters. With this view, he issued an edict that henceforward the bears should not eat at the first table, and that the Indians were to wait upon them, that in all public processions of an honorable character the bears should go first, and that when any fighting was to be done, the Indians should have the privilege reserved for receiving the first shots. A special exemption was made in behalf of Grasshopper's favorite and confidential adviser, the Pipe Bearer, who had been very busy in private recommending the new order of things, who was allowed to sit at the head of the feast and to stay at home with the old women in the event of battle. Having seen his orders strictly enforced, and the rights of the bears over the Indians fairly established, Grasshopper fixed his mind upon further adventures. He determined to go abroad for a time, and having an old score to settle with Manabozho, he set out with a hope of soon falling in with that famous giant. Grasshopper was a blood relation of Thais Imid, or he of the little shell. That sounds like a snail. Okay, and had heard of what had passed between the giant and his kinsman. Well, I don't know what it was that happened. Can you tell us? Frickin' heck. Okay. After wandering a long time, he came to the lodge of Manabozho, who was absent. He thought he must play him a trick, and so he turned everything in the lodge upside down. He's not home. I guess I better prank him. He's just my sworn enemy. Let's do something silly. Okay, turned everything upside down and killed his birds, of which there was an extraordinary attendance. Oh, for Manabozho is master of the fowls of the air. Oh, and this was the appointed morning for them all to call and pay their court to him. Among the number was a raven, accounted the meanest of the birds. I don't know what this story is from, but that is not usually how they refer to raven. Anyway, which Grasshopper killed and hung up by the neck to insult him. Okay. He then went on till he came to a very high point of rocks running out into the lake, from the top of which he could see the country, back as far as the eye could reach. While sitting there, Manabozho's mountain chickens flew around and passed him in great numbers. Out of mere spite to their master, Grasshopper shot them by the score, for his arrows were very sure and the birds very plenty, and he amused himself by throwing the birds down the rocks. At length a wary bird cried out, "Grasshopper is killing us. Go and tell our father." Away sped a delegation of the birds, who were the quickest of wing, and Manabozho soon made his appearance on the plain below. Grasshopper, who when he was in the wrong is no match for Manabozho, made his escape on the other side. Manabozho, who had in 2 or 3 strides reached the top of the mountain, cried out, "You are a rogue. The earth is not so large, but I can get up to you." He's calling you out for your bullshit. Off ran Grasshopper and Manabozho after him. The race was sharp, and such leaps and strides as they made, over hills and prairies with all his speed went Grasshopper, and Manabozho hard upon him. Grasshopper had some mischievous notions still left in his head, which he thought might befriend him. He knew that Manabozho was under a spell to restore whatever he, Grasshopper, destroyed. Forthwith he stopped and climbed a large pine tree, stripped off its beautiful green foliage, threw it to the winds, and then went on. When Manabozho reached the spot, the tree addressed him. "Great chief," said the tree, "will you give my life again? Grasshopper has killed me." "Yes," replied Manabozho, who as quickly as he could gathered the scattered leaves and branches, renewed its beauty with his breath, and set off. Oh, sounds like Manabozho's pretty cool. Sounds like maybe Grasshopper is kind of the bad guy. I don't know. What do y'all think? I will say usually these indigenous stories, they're pretty good about being like not just good and evil, but a little bit more like I'm on my side and you're on your side. And that's how that was. And they're getting that with the Manabozho and Grasshopper, I think, right now. It's cool. Okay. Although Grasshopper in the same way compelled Manabozho to lose time in repairing the hemlock, the sycamore, cedar, and many other trees, the giant did not falter, but pushing briskly forward, was fast overtaking him when Grasshopper happened to see an elk, and asking him for old acquaintance' sake to take him on his back, the elk did so, and for some time he made good headway, but still Manabozho was in sight. He was fast gaining upon him when Grasshopper threw himself off the elk's back, and striking a great sandstone rock near the path, he broke it into pieces and scattered the grains in 1,000 directions, for this was nearly his last hope of escape. Manabozho was so close upon him at this place that he had almost caught him, but the foundation of the rock cried out, "Hi," or "Hiye," I don't know. I don't know how to say these, I'm guessing. "Neme sho, Grasshopper has spoiled me. Will you not restore me to life?" "Yes," replied Manabozho. He re-established the rock in all its strength. He then pushed on in pursuit, and had got so near to Grasshopper as to put his arm to seize him, but Grasshopper dodged him, and, as his last chance, he immediately raised such a dust and commotion by whirlwinds as made the trees break and the sand and leaves dance in the air. Again and again Manabozho stretched his arm, but he escaped him at every turn, and kept up such a tumult of dust that he dashed into a hollow tree which had been blown down, changed himself into a snake, and crept out at the roots just in time to save his life. For at that moment Manabozho, who had the power of lightning, struck it, and it was strewn about in little pieces. Again Grasshopper was in human shape, and Manabozho was pressing him hard. At a distance he saw a very high bluff of rocks jutting out into a lake, and he ran for the foot of the precipice, which was abrupt and elevated. As he came near, to his surprise and great relief, the manito of the rock opened his door and told Grasshopper to come in. The door no sooner closed than Manabozho knocked. So now he's hanging with the manito, and he had killed a bunch of manito previously. I don't know if we don't like them or not. I'm a snake. I saw their little snake. No, it's in my head too. Okay, Manabozho knocked. "Open it," he cried with a loud voice. The manito was afraid of him, but he said to Grasshopper, "Since I have taken you as my guest, I would sooner die with you than open the door." "Open it," Manabozho again cried in a louder voice than before. The manito kept silent. Manabozho, however, made no attempt to open it by force. He waited a few moments. "Very well," he said, "I'll give you till morning to live." Grasshopper trembled, for he thought his last hour had come, but the manito bade him to be of good cheer. When the night came on, the clouds were thick and black, and as they were torn open by the lightning, such discharges of thunder were never heard as bellowed forth. The clouds advanced slowly and wrapped the earth about with their vast shadows in a huge cloak. All night long the clouds gathered, and the lightning flashed, and the thunder roared, and above all could be heard Manabozho muttering vengeance upon poor little Grasshopper. "You have led a very foolish kind of life, Grasshopper," said his friend the manito. I know it," Grasshopper answered. "You had great gifts of strength awarded to you," said the manito. "I am aware of it," replied the Grasshopper. "Instead of employing it for useful purposes, and for the good of your fellow creatures, you have done nothing since you became a man but raise whirlwinds on the highways, leap over trees, break whatever you met in pieces, and perform 1,000 idle pranks." Grasshopper, with great penitence, confessed that his friend the manito spoke but too truly, and at last his entertainer, with a still more serious manner, said, "Grasshopper, you still have your gift of strength. Dedicate it to the good of mankind. Lay all of these wanton and vainglorious notions out of your head. In a word, be as good as you are strong." "I will," answered Grasshopper. "My heart has changed. I see the error of my ways." How sweet. Black and stormy as it had been all night. When morning came, the sun was shining, the air was soft and sweet as the summer down and the blown rose, and afar off, upon the side of a mountain, sat Manabozho, his head upon his knees, languid and cast down in spirit. His power was gone, for now Grasshopper was in the right, and he could touch him no more. With many thanks, Grasshopper left the good Manito, taking the nearest way home to his own people. As he passed on, he fell in with an old man who was wandering about the country in search of some place which he could not find. As soon as he learned his difficulty, Grasshopper, placing the old man upon his back, hurried away, and in a short hour's dispatch of foot set him down among his own kindred, of whom he had been in quest. Losing no time, Grasshopper next came to an open plain where a small number of men stood at bay, and on the very point of being borne down by great odds in a force of armed warriors. What the heck? Point of great odds in a force of armed warriors, fierce of aspect and of prodigious strength. When Grasshopper saw this unequal struggle, rushing forward he seized a long, bare pole, and yielding it with his whole force, he drove the fierce warriors back, and laying about him on every hand, he soon sent them 1,000 ways in great haste, and in a very sore plight. Without tarrying to receive the thanks of those to whom he had brought this timely relief, he made his utmost speed, and by the close of the afternoon he had come in sight of his own village. What were his surprise and horror, as he approached nearer to discover the bears in excellent case and flesh, seated at lazy leisure in the trees, looking idly on, while his brother Indians, for their pastime, were dancing a fantastic and wearisome dance, in the course of which they were frequently compelled to go upon all fours and bow their heads in profound obeisance to their bear masters in the trees. Oh no. As he drew nearer, his heart sunk within him to see how starved and hollow-eyed and woe-begone they were, and his horror was at its height when, as he entered his own lodge, he beheld his favorite and friend, the pipe-bearer, also on all fours, smoothing the floor with the palms of his hands to make it a comfortable sitting place for the bears on their return from the dance. Awful. It did not take Grasshopper a long time to resolve what he should do. He immediately resumed power in the village, bestowed a sound cudgeling upon the bears, and sent them off to live in the mountains among their own people, as bears should. Restored to the people all their rights, gave them plenty to eat and drink, exerting his strength in hunting, in rebuilding their lodges, keeping in check their enemies, and doing all the good he could to everybody. Peace and plenty soon shone and showered upon the spot, and never once thinking of all his wild and wanton frolics, the people blessed Grasshopper for all his kindness, and sincerely prayed that his name might be held in honor for 1,000 years to come, as no doubt it will. Little Pipe-bearer stood by Grasshopper in all his course, and admired his ways as much now that he had taken to being orderly and useful, as in the old times when he was walking a mile a minute, and in mere wantonness bringing home whole forests in his arms for firewood in midsummer. It was a great old age to which Grasshopper lived, and when at last he came to die, there was not a dry eye in all that part of the world where he spent his latter days. The end. That was a sweet end for him. Everybody loved him. The end. Aw. Well, okay. That's so sweet. Alright. That's a very quick one. That's good. Okay. I'm going to adjust how I'm sat. I think I need a stretch. But then we're going to do sniffs and dice. And if we have any other redeems, we can do those. We are doing the triggers next. Good job, Mr. Hopper. Yeah, I gotta agree. Did good jobs. Good jobs. Okay. Yeah. I do a big stretch. Let's see. the back. And the Legos. Okay. Ugh. I'm tired. Ugh. Ah, why did she have to? I don't know what that's about. The model just face planting. Oh, can I just actually go to sleep instead? I just. Why are you not closing your eyes? Why are you not closing your eyes properly, model? At least every time I do a little peek, there's usually just a little second lag. So she should. Looks like her eyes are staying wide open. So weird. Okay. Anyway. Riz in all caps. I don't know if it works with all caps or not. I also don't know. Did you do your Riz earlier in the day? Earlier in the stream? I think the Riz is the one with the worst cooldown. It could be the worst one to try and do. But okay, it's gonna be Sniff's time. Yeah, it's just not gonna cooperate. I don't know what to say. Okay. Yes, but it's been a minute. Well, yeah, I think it's one that is. I don't want to have to go searching. I think Fet said, because Fet set the cooldowns up for me. But it was a while ago. I think Fet had said that one was essentially once per stream. It's like 2 hours or something cooldown. It's long. That's all I know. Okay, Sniff's time. Let's do Sniffs. Fog. Fog's on my head. Fog's on the rock. Yeah. Okay, Sniffs. Very EP Raven sniffs. Okay, there is our Sniffs. Sorry, yawns. We're gonna do the dice next, and that means I gotta move the mic. So it's about to be noisy. I don't want it to be too bad, but let's hope it goes easily. There we go. And I'm moving mic. I warn you now. Okay, it's doing good. Alright. Dice. I got a nat 20. Okay, we're spinning back. Mike is moving. Okay. It is cooperating. It's being good, Mike. Okay. Next we've got the glass jar, and then comb twing, and then the favorite, rage puffing. After that, I think I might run an ad before we do our next story. It's not a very long story, but who knows? It looks like I'll probably be reading it fairly quickly. You guys are, well, there's not very many people in right now, actually. Alright, that's no worries, but the people that are here seem to be very quiet. So that means Raven does not get as distracted. So we could read a couple more stories tonight. That'd be good. Okay. Glass jar, tappy taps. Tappity tap 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 tap. Glass jar. Tappies. Not tappos. Tappies. Here we go. You're doodling while you listen. Now I want to know what you doodle. Well, no, Honk's still awake. That's good. Little Honk giving a singing frog redeem. Okay, we'll do the frog after the rage puffing. Okay. Just getting hydrated before some tappies. Here we go. Ooh, that sounds really cool, Pudgy. I like that a lot. Ooh, okay. Oh, the honk your numbers. Oh, no. I'm so sorry. Okay. Now. Okay. What is that? Object? Objection? What is that? I can't tell. Okay. That was our glass jar tappies. We'll get to comb twing now. Comb twinging time. Oh, well that's not how you do that, Raven. Come on. There you go. You don't know, you don't see nothing? Okay. That seems a little sus, but alright. You spin around. Go ahead, little honk. Where was I? Comb, right. Yes. just a little bit EP. Just a little bit EP, Raven. And there you go with the comb twing. Alrighty. Hi, Jamaican Uncle. Hi, El Chiquitas. Hellos. I do not have the energy for a rage. We're too EP. Okay, I got a rage now, but I'm so EP. I got a rage now, but I'm too EP to rage. It's such a funny thing. It's funny that I'm being asked to rage in the first place, but that I'm too tired to rage is a whole thing too. Oh, being in my stream. I'm wondering, can one of you clip the moment from I'm too EP to rage, the first one, to when I finish the typing and somewhere around there? Rage against the eep. Yeah, gotta rage against the eep. Peace consumes me. Aw, that sounds such a violent way to see that peace, but yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you feel in peace, El Chiquitas. That is nice. Very peaceful. But we need to no longer be peaceful. We are raging. Raging. She looks so silly. Rage. Okay, here we go. Rage puffing time. I ran out of rage and ended up being kind of like, please, kind of energy. Sorry for the yawns. You love the beatbox. You guys all love Rage Puff, I know. Oh, so rage again. Evil laugh. No, please don't make me rage again. Please, no. Rage Puff is amazing. I'm glad you guys like it. I'm glad you like it. It takes all the energy out of me sometimes. Oh, whoa, why am I quiet? Frickin' heck. OBS doing the nonsense of suddenly bringing down my volume. No. No. There's rage puffing coming up. I need C. Burn this planet? Oh my gosh. I need to be so angry. Oh, you're evil. You want to see the world burn. Ah, okay. Big yawn. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's Singing Frog next. And then after that, we go back to story because I don't do the two rage puffs right after each other. Just imagine you just stepped in a puddle with socks on. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. It's Singing Frog next. Oh, I wanted to say, Lahonk, you're here, right, Lahonk? You didn't leave yet, did ya? You're the one that redeemed raven noises yesterday, right? That was you, right? I could be wrong. No rage puffing? Rage puffing at next break. Rage puffing after next story. I believe it was. You believe it was, Lahonk. Well, if you're here listening, Lahonk, I looked it up. It's yeah, right? So Jamaican Uncle, thank you for the subscription. Get those money frogs out. If you didn't know, we've got a tradition to drop some money frogs whenever someone drops some money. A sub, a gift sub, some bits, whatever. Thank you, Jamaican Uncle. There you go. You've got the frogs. You can drop your own frogs now. But yeah, I was saying that I looked it up and it was like I said, yeah. That was the raven noises. I found it. That was it. You get the frogs now. Yes, you get the frogs. Oh, okay. I'm going to run an ad. And I'm very sorry, but now I guess Jamaican Uncle doesn't have to deal with ads. I gotta run an ad. And then we're gonna do Singing Frog, and then we'll go to the next story, unless someone redeems some more. But it is about time to move on to the next story. So, okay. Ad incoming. Warning, it is time for ad. Ad. There it goes. But now you can hear me, even though there is an ad. Haha, Jamaican Uncle. Welcome in. Oh my gosh, the yawns. They're going to kill me. I'm too eepy. I'm too eepy. Timed it well. Yeah, you did. If you had waited too long, you would have been stuck with an ad. The ads can't contain you. Nope. The honks little money frogs. Literally. That's an interesting trigger word I'll say after the ad is done. Lahonk, did you hear me? The raven noises. It's yeah, or something like that. So a whisper version, I don't know how it would sound whispered version. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe like that? I don't know. Yes, let's go. Well, there you go. I found it. I hope that scratched your itch to hear the meow. Hi, Ion Bear. Oh, goodness. All the Chaos Agents are entering. You love the clip. I feel like maybe I need to do one of those streams again, but I need to have like a silly game to do that I've already done before that makes it like feel fun. I guess I could play Oxenfree again. I could do Oxenfree again. That one's not too hard to do again. We go about it another time. Just do a different version of it every time. And then once again do those accents when I read the letters probably. I don't know. Maybe I'll make a whole thing where, like, if you guys want it to happen, you can pay for it with points, you know? I'll figure it out. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But okay, we got the ad back, where people from the ad is back. We've got Sing and Frog to do. And before I do that, I have a trigger word to read. Oh boy. Okay, breathe, Raven. Get your tongue stretched out so we don't trip over the alliteration. Health? What is health? All the outs in free. All the outs in free. Okay, I'll do the stretch and posture and hydrate in a minute because I still gotta do the other stuff. And I did stretch and stuff fairly recently. Anyway, okay. Trigger word. Here we go. Literally, literal Lithuanian liberation literature. I thought I was gonna get myself stuck, but then I actually did it. Oh my gosh, I just like slowed down at the last, which isn't so speedy and cool, but okay. Literally, literal Lithuanian liberation literature. Ah! I did it. I dropped my voice though to do it. I was like, focus. Serious voice. Raven, stop talking Spanish. I need to hear you. Rolled nice off the tongue. Yeah, I did pretty good. I have nerve damage. You have nerve damage? I'm so sorry. What? I hope you heal. I hope you heal. Get it? Because that's heal, but with an F, and that was what you said. Anyway, okay. Okay. I hope you heal. So, really. Okay. Where was my brain? Oh, talk in Spanish. Well, how about you use a trigger word and make sure to include the English translation? It's not so hard, El Chiquitas. Trigger word redeem. Spanish. You can do this. I believe in you. If not, maybe someone can translate for El Chiquitas to be able to figure it out. They're taking notes. They're taking notes. Wait, Raven, do you speak Spanish too? No, I do not. I speak English, but I know little bits and pieces of different languages. I know teeny bits. And El Chiquitas likes to hear me say some Spanish words here and there. Welp. Lamau. Raven Spanish is real. See, it's underwhelming, but I do a little bit, and that makes El Chiquitas happy. Okay, I have a singing frog to frickin' do. Let's go, singing frog. Here we go. Cack, cack, cack. Alright, here we go. I hope you guys all use that little singing frog emote for when you request it from other streamers. I'm just gonna say it. Just because it's too perfect a way to say that you are a singing frog. It's not that hard. And it's kind of hard to see on dark mode what he doing, but that's why I put little highlights on the note so that it's like, what is happening next to the guy? And then you hover and then you see, oh, It's a singing frog. There you go. It's so cute. It's just too perfect for that. Bookie dark mode. That's cute. That's so cute. I love that. I don't use it. I'm not subbed. That's fine. No, honestly, it's totally fine. I mean, the people that have it, I feel like that is an underappreciated thing it can do. So I want to see it happen because it's so cute. I just think it's so funny. Anyway, okay. Where is my brain? Where was my brain? Pudgy Tater, you're subbed now. You little shit, Pudgy Tater. But we reached our sub goal. Yay! And now the requirement of dropping money frogs. Money frogs. Whenever we get a gift, there was some money. We drop some money frogs. So let's celebrate the money. Pudgy Tater, in your own raining money. If you don't have the emote, if you're not subbed, it's also on 7TV. And I'm trying to work out right now a way to get my chat bubbles to actually have 7TV emotes properly show. Yeah, there you go. Now you can use it. I'm trying to get it so that you can see 7TV emotes on my stream screen, but it's being difficult. And I want it to still look like my bubbles or something similar, at least to my bubbles. So we're on the hunt for a good chat bubbles widget. I think I might have found one, but we'll have to fiddle with it. Yeah, but okay. Alright, I'm going to do the stretch and the posture check and hydrate, and then we're going to do the next story. El Chiquitas, your rage puffing will come after this story. It's a fairly short one, but based on who all just joined us, I am very likely to get thoroughly distracted. You will distract me, I know you will. Okay, here we go with a good stretch. Oof. Roll the ankles, get the hooves moving. Okay. Let's just change how we're sitting. Let's pull out the little hoof rest. Yeah, okay. And I get into place. Okay. Good, good, good. Alright, posture check is doing good. And hydrate. Yes, yes, yes. Alrighty. And now, back to story times. Do that. And what are we reading now? This one has an interesting story. When I first read it, I'm like, Jedi? No, not Jedi. No, Raven. Context clues, please. It's called the Two Jeebi. I don't know what Jeebi are, but we got Jeebi. And this is our next story. I'll write it down over here. The Two Jeebi. Alright. They're like Jedi, but spelled different. Yeah. Or they're like heebie-jeebies. You know, they're spooky. I don't know. I can't tell. We're gonna find out what they are. What are you? Okay. The 2 GB. Yes, that is updated. Okay. I have to double check. Alright. There lived a hunter in the north who had a wife and one child. His lodge stood far off in the forest, several days' journey from any other. He spent his days in hunting and his evenings in relating to his wife the incidents that had befallen him. As game was very abundant, he had no difficulty in killing as much as they wanted. Just in all his acts, he lived a peaceful and happy life. One evening, during the winter season, it chanced that he remained out longer than usual. His wife began to fear that some accident had befallen him. It was already dark. She listened attentively and at last heard the sound of approaching footsteps. This is starting to feel a little spooky, okay. Not doubting that it was her husband, she went to the door and beheld two strange females. She bade them enter and invited them to remain. She observed that they were total strangers in the country. There was something so peculiar in their looks, air, and manner that she was disturbed by their presence. Okay, so they're spooky of some sort. And they're two ladies. I'm guessing these are our Jeebi, whatever Jeebi mean. They would not come near to the fire. They sat in a remote part of the lodge, shy and taciturn, and drew their garments about them in such a manner as nearly to hide their faces. So far as she could judge, they were pale, hollow-eyed, and long-visaged, very thin and emaciated. Okay, this is definitely some sort of spooky thing. Okay, I'm getting spooked out. I don't know if my frogs want to stick around for this. It's gonna be spooky. Okay, I need to run off to bed, Raven. Okay. Okay, so as Cage says, he has to leave, but y'all better behave. He's still got his eyes on you. Okay, sleep well, Cage. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow. Eat well, eat well. All right. Okay. They're very, very thin. There was but little light in the lodge, as the fire was low, and its fitful flashes, by disclosing their white faces, and in its fitful flashes, by disclosing their white faces and then dropping in sudden darkness, served rather to increase than to dispel her fears. Okay, so the fire is only making it more spooky too. I can be a toad instead. They're not as scared as frogs. Can I be a toad instead? Wow. Wow. You're accusing my frogs of being cowards. That's so rude of you. You can be whatever you want to be, Josh. You can be a toad. Who was our friend in the earlier chat today that was officially a crab? I did. They don't have to be involved in the spooky if they don't want to be here. You don't need to, like, tease them about it. They can make their own choices. Look how small some of them are. Look at how tiny they are. Do you think the little babies deserve to be just ridiculed? Do you think the little babies should be here for the spooky stories? But yeah, go ahead and be a toad if that's less cowardly. Okay. Where am I? Right, she's getting only more and more spooked out. Dibs on Turtle. You want to be a turtle. I feel like Turt will fight you for that, but I don't know if Turt is here. Turt fell asleep probably a while ago. Yeah. Okay. Yes, lol. Yep, okay. Yeah, fell asleep. Alright. Merciful spirit, cried a voice from the opposite part of the lodge. There are two corpses clothed with garments. The hunter's wife turned around, but seeing nobody save her little child, staring across from under his blanket, she said to herself, "The boy cannot speak." The sounds were but the gusts of wind. She trembled and was ready to sink to the earth. Her husband at this moment entered, and in some measure relieved her alarm. He threw down the carcass of a large, fat deer. "Behold, what a fine and fat animal!" cried the mysterious females, and they immediately ran and pulled off pieces of the whitest fat, which they greedily devoured. The hunter and his wife looked on with astonishment, but remained silent. They supposed that their guests might have been stricken with famine. The next day, however, the same unusual conduct was repeated. The strange females again tore off the fat and devoured it with eagerness. The third day the hunter thought that he would anticipate their wants by tying up a share of the hunt and placing it apart for their express use. They accepted it, but still appeared dissatisfied, and went to the wife's portion and tore off more. Okay, greedy. The hunter and his wife were surprised at such rude and unaccountable conduct, but they remained silent, for they respected their guests and had observed that they had been attended with marked good luck during the sojourn of these mysterious visitors in their lodge. So they're like, well, but we are still getting lots of food. Things are going well. I don't know if we should get rid of them. Okay. In other respects, the deportment of the females was strictly unexceptionable. They were modest, distant, and silent. They never uttered a word during the day. At night they would occupy themselves in procuring wood, which they carried to the lodge, and then, restoring the implements exactly where they had found them, resumed their places without speaking. They were never known to stay out until daylight. They never laughed or jested. The winter was nearly passed away when one evening the hunter was abroad later than usual. The moment he came in and laid down the day's hunt, as was his custom, before his wife, the two females seized upon the deer and began to tear off the fat in so unceremonious a way that her anger was excited. She constrained herself, however, in a good degree, but she could not conceal her feelings, though she said but little. Okay, so they know now she's upset, but she's not going to call it out still. The strange guests observed the state of her mind, and they became uneasy and withdrew further still into the remote gloom of the lodge. The good hunter saw the eclipse that was darkening the quiet of his lodge, and carefully inquired of its cause, but his wife denied having used any words of complaining or reproach. She didn't. She just looked upset. They retired to their couches, and the hunter tried to compose himself to sleep, but could not, for the sighs and sobs of the two females were incessant. He arose on his couch and addressed them as follows. "Tell me," said he, "what is it that gives you pain of mind and causes you to bemoan your presence here? Has my wife given you offense or trespassed upon the rights of hospitality?" They replied in the negative. "No. We have been treated by you with kindness and affection. It is not for any slight we have received that we weep. Our mission is not to you only. We come from the other land to test mankind and to try the sincerity of the living. Often we have heard the bereaved by death say that if the lost could be restored, they would devote their lives to make them happy. We have been moved by the bitter lamentations which have reached the place of the departed, and have come to make proof of the sincerity of those who have lost friends. We are your two dead sisters. 3 moons were allotted us by the Master of Life to make the trial. More than half of the time has been successfully passed, when the angry feelings of your wife indicated the irksomeness you felt at our presence, and has made us resolve on our departure." Ooh. They continued to talk to the hunter and his wife, gave them instructions as to a future life, and pronounced a blessing upon them. "There is one point," they added, "of which we wish to speak. You have thought our conduct very strange and rude in possessing ourselves of the choicest parts of your hunt. That was the point of trial selected to put you to. It is the wife's peculiar privilege. You love your wife. For another to usurp what belongs to her we know to be the severest test of her goodness of heart, and consequently of your temper and feelings. We knew your manners and customs, but we came to prove you, not by complying with, but by violating them. Pardon us. We are the agents of him who sent us. Peace to your dwelling. Farewell." When they ceased, total darkness filled the lodge. No object could be seen. The inmates heard the lodge door open and shut, but they never saw more of the two spirits. The hunter found the success which they had promised. He became celebrated in the chase, and never wanted for anything. He had many children, all of whom grew up to manhood, and he who had lain in the lodge a little child, while the Jeebi dwelt there, led them in all good deeds, and health, peace, and long life were the rewards of the hunter's hospitality. The end. Well, that went very quick, and you guys didn't come and create chaos so much. You guys must be eepier than me. Wow. But yeah, that was a little sweet. That was interesting. It was spooky, but it wasn't too bad. It's interesting. They're like, well, you're annoyed by us, so we do have to leave. But here's the good advice. It's like something was a test, but there wasn't any big consequences, and we weren't really told what would have happened if you won, but like you were nice for a while, so this, I guess, the good advice is what you get for now. It's just very interesting. I like it. Okay. Hydrated. And then we stretch and posture. Thank you, Josh. Okay. That's my kind of test. If you say so, Pudgy. Alright. My model having a moment. Okay. I suppose it's just time for rage puffing. And any other redeems you guys might have. Oh, whoa. Hold on a second. Yeah, go back in there. What? How did you move? I don't know what I just did, but I undid it, thankfully. Oh, the things I mess up. Okay. Rage. Buffing. Alright. Okay, here we go. Time to rage. Rage. Oh goodness, I don't know how good an idea bottle blow is just based on how low oxygen I am. I might do mic arm after rage and then go to bottle blow, so I've got a minute. Remember wet socks. Right, okay. Okay. Rage. Oh goodness. Stuffy little nose for a second. Okay. But hate frogs? How dare they? No strong frog. Yeah, try and eat that frog, Josh. Okay, I'm out of rage. I'm out of rage. I can't. That was a double yawn. I thought I was done with a yawn, and then another one just came smacking into me. Just smacked me. So I'm gonna do mic arm sharpening first, and then we'll do bottle blow, because my body said we need so much oxygen. You're gonna have a double yawn, and I think that is fair. I think it's fair. Okay, mic arm sharpening time. Do 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 do. Oh, what the heck happened? Okay, I'm gonna move the mic. I'm giving you your warning. It could get squeaky. I don't know. Oh, it's gonna be a noise. Yeah, there you go, a little bonking. Okay, there we go. Okay, here we go. Get that stuff out of there. Okay, there we go. Alright. There we go. Sorry. Okay, I'm moving it back. Watch out. A bit squeaky there, but okay. And now it's time for the bottle blow. Whoop whoop, a whoop whoop. Where did it go? There it is. Okay. Okay, get over here. Alright. Big breath, Raven. Okay. Okay, there is our bottle blow. Back you go. They stay up over in the corner because one of them is full a little bit with water. If they stayed on my desk, they would fall over and make a mess, most definitely. Okay, well that's kind of all the redeems there are right now, but I want to do something. I'll do a little bit of humming if there's no other redeems. It'll be humming time. Haha. Note. Okay, there we go. And Pudgy redeemed singing role, so I guess I'll do that one. And then we'll have one more story. That's what we'll do. I found one that's good and short. Oh my god, what happened to my voice? Okay, I found one that's nice and short, so we should have time to finish it before we raid out. Hello, Unbanned. Welcome in, welcome in. Let's get the singing bowl going. Here we go. Sorry. I'm scratchy. I'm holding it in a bad spot, I think. I gotta say, I prefer to feel the singing bowl in my hand than to listen to it. The way that the sound waves are ringing, that can kind of tickle my ears wrong, but it feels so fun to feel it in the palm of my hand and it travels up my arm. If you have the opportunity to try using a singing bowl, I recommend it. It's very cool. Okay. Alright. So now we're gonna get to our last story of the evening. No More Redeems. Oh, it's so nice. It is. Okay, here we go. There we go. The origin of the robin. If you are 11 years old, you should leave. This is 18 plus. Please. We're not doing anything particularly necessary for that need to be over 18. Like, we're not doing anything spicy right now, but my friend, you should be 13 plus to be on Twitch, and my channel is sometimes saying the stuff that we would prefer. Yeah. Oh, Fet. Yeah, right there. Yeah. I didn't know you were still here, Fet. But you heard me say 11 years old and you're like, nope, that's against Twitch. If they said, hi, I'm 14, I'd be like, friend, no. But 11? Definitely no. Friend, no. Okay, anyway. The origin of the robin. Who's ready? Last story of the night. Here we go. An old man had an only son named Iadilla. There we go. Amazing how often they'll just open up with that. Yeah, honestly, it feels like a test. It feels like either a test or like they're... I mean, at 11, I hate to see it, but it sounds like someone trying to pull in the kinds of people that are messed up people that want to be taking advantage of young people. And I'm like, I sure hope that no one in my stream is one of those people that would have, lured, because if you are one of those people, mayhaps get out. But, yeah. Anyway, okay. They are gone. Okay, so the old man had an only son named Iadilla, who had come to that age which is thought to be most proper to make the long and final fast, which is to secure through life a guardian genius or spirit. The father was ambitious that his son would surpass all others in whatever was deemed wisest and greatest among his people. To accomplish his wish, he thought it necessary that the young Iadilla should fast a much longer time than any of those renowned for their power or wisdom, whose fame he coveted. I don't care if it's a joke or what. You say you're underage, get the boot. Heck yeah, Fet giving the boot. Totally on top of it, Maud, kicking butt. Yeah. Give some Maud love to Fet. Okay. He therefore directed his son to prepare with great ceremony for the important event. After he had been several times in the sweating lodge and bath, which were to prepare and purify him for communion with his good spirit, he ordered him to lie down upon a clean mat in a little lodge expressly provided for him. We enjoined upon him at the same time to endure his fast like a man, and promised that at the expiration of 12 days he should receive food and the blessing of his father. So he's got to fast for 12 days. Dang. Okay. The lad carefully observed the command and lay with his face covered, calmly awaiting the approach of the spirit which was to decide his good or evil fortune for all the days of his life. Every morning his father came to the door of the little lodge and encouraged him to persevere, dwelling at length on the vast honor and renown that must ever attend him, should he accomplish the full term of trial allotted to him. Hello, Ignis. Can't even last for 12 hours. You summoned the guy that starts with food and drink. Welcome in. Root beer and bunches of barbecue flavored Pringles. Now I really want Pringles. Dang it. Okay. To these glowing words of promise and glory the boy never replied, but he lay without the least sign of discontent or murmuring until the 9th day, when he addressed his father as follows. My father, my dreams forebode evil. May I break my fast now, and at a more favorable time make a new fast? Oh, you sorry you only have enough for a few people? Well, I feel like I'm kind of the most important to share with. I mean, I don't know, Ignis. I feel like maybe... No. I will find for myself my own snackies after stream, which ends unfortunately soon. But good for you, we still have about half a story left. It's a very short story, but we have a good deal of... Yeah, okay, here we go. The father answered, My son, you know not what you ask. If you get up now, all your glory will depart. Wait patiently a little longer. You have but 3 days more, and your term will be completed. You know what it is for your own good, and I encourage you to persevere. Shall not your aged father live to see you a star among the chieftains and the beloved of battle? I feel like this guy is fame hungry, and he's dooming his son to evilness. His son's like, hey, I'm getting a very bad thing. I feel like this is only gonna go bad. And he's like, no, but come on, fame. It's like, Dad, no, Dad. Like dance mom energy. Anyway, okay. The son assented, and covering himself more closely, that he might shut out the light which prompted him to complain, he lay till the 11th day, when he repeated his request. Oh no, I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Well, that's too damn bad. I recently found out what that's from because I rewatched Holes, and I was like, it was them. Oh my gosh. Okay, so he's repeating his request. The father addressed Iadilla as he had the day before, and promised that he would himself prepare his first meal and bring it to him by the dawn of the morning. The son moaned, and the father added, Will you bring shame upon your father when his son is falling in the west? I will not shame you, my father, replied Iadilla, and he lay so still and motionless that you could only know that he was living by the gentle heaving of his breast. At the spring of day the next morning, the father, delighted at having gained his end, prepared a repast for his son, and hastened to set it before him. On coming to the door of the little lodge, he was surprised to hear his son talking to himself. He stooped his ear to listen, and looking through a small opening, he was yet more astonished when he beheld his son painted with vermilion all over his breast, and in the act of finishing his work by laying on the paint as far back as his shoulders as he could reach with his hands, saying at the same time to himself, Oh, my father has destroyed my fortune as a man. He would not listen to my requests. He has urged me beyond my tender strength. He will be the loser. I shall be forever happy in my new state, for I have been obedient to my parent. He alone will be the sufferer, for my guardian spirit is a just one, though not propitious? I don't know what that word is. To me in the manner I desired. He has shown me pity in another way. He has given me another shape, and now I must go. Oh, okay, so now he's turning into something else, I guess. At this moment the old man broke in, exclaiming, my son, I pray you leave me not. But the young man, with the quickness of a bird, had flown to the top of the lodge and perched himself on the highest pole. Having been changed into a beautiful robin redbreast. How did I forget that this was the origin of the robin? My brain was like, what's he gonna turn into? A lizard? Raven. Why? No. We have the context right there in the corner of the screen. Okay. Anyway. You're a robinary. Okay. So he's got a red breast now. He looked down upon his father with pity beaming in his eyes and addressed him as follows. Regret not, my father, the change you behold. I shall be happier in my present state than I could have been as a man. I shall always be the friend of men and keep near their dwellings. I shall ever be happy and contented, and although I could not gratify your wishes as a warrior, it will be my daily aim to make you amends for it as a harbinger of peace and joy. I will cheer you by my songs and strive to inspire in others the joy and lightsomeness of heart I feel in my present state. This will be some compensation to you for the loss of glory you expected. I am now free from the cares and pains of human life. My food is spontaneously furnished by the mountains and fields, and my pathway of life is in the bright air. Then, stretching himself on his toes, as if delighted with the gifts of wings, Iadilla caroled one of his sweetest songs and flew away into a neighboring wood. I feel like this story would have been perfect for Cage, Mr. Birdman. But oh well. That was a cute at the end. It was a sweet. Maybe I'll just tell Cage to go watch it back at the end of the stream. Maybe we'll do that. But okay, that is the end. My goodness. Sorry, we're only here for a little bit, Ignis. I'm sorry. I uploaded yesterday's streams already. They're ready to go. And I'm working on today's right after this. I'll get them organized, if not properly set published. But yeah. So that the VODs will be on YouTube. Reminder to check out the YouTube. And considering my mic is being a little bit of a butthead, if you have money to support the tech, we may need that. I was going to recommend a certain someone for a raid, but their stream just crashed, so I have an alternate. Oh. Who's the certain someone, I wonder? I could hang around if their stream comes back up again. Do you think that Pudgy Tater, 400 bits. It's been down for 10 minutes now. Oh, well darn. But okay. Monies! Money frowns! Go, go, go! Thank you, Pudgy Tater. That 400 bits will go towards trying to pay for a new mic or something. They're rebooting their entire computer. Oof. That'll take 20 minutes or something, right? Well, I have a trigger word, and I am not opposed to just doing kalimba for a little bit. Do you think it would be worth it to try and hang around, or just do another time? Up to you. We can see when you get ready to go. Well, it's just this trigger word, so it's either kind of like I go now, or I do hang out. If they're back, we go there. If not, I have options. It's kind of right now. I'm not opposed to hanging around. We could hang around and then see. How about we hang around and then see? I'll do that. We'll hang around for a bit. Well, there you go. People that were not here for very long. Looking at you, Ignis. Now we got an extension. I'm not going to do any reading. We're just going to do kalimba as our extension time. And Fet will tell us if and when they are back. But okay, trigger word is just raven noises with cacks. But, I know that you mean the meow, meow, meow. So I guess cack, cack, cack. Is that what you meant? Cack, cack, cack. Meow, meow, meow. I wouldn't have said that that is like my noise, but it is a very fun noise. You like that, the honk? You're pleased? I'm glad you enjoyed it. There you go. Freaking silly. It's so silly. Okay, sorry, that's a little bit of a joke for me. Okay, well then, I will just go ahead and grab my kalimba now. And we'll do various songs. Make room, make room. Okay. Pull the lever, LaCronk. That is one of the honk's fake names. Okay. Roll the lever. Hi, board. Okay, here we go. Let's begin with this. It's very hard to do the two at once. I'm so close to 1K. 1K followers. Yeah, I'm not far. Oh, I'll bring Mike back. Yeah, my next goal for now is 950. I'll probably reach that in next week or the week after, based on how my growth has been going. And then after that will be 975, another week or two. So sometime next month, I might be at 1K followers. Oh my god. Oh my god. It'll be very cool. It'll be very nice. Oh, there was something I was going to... the oxen. Mozart? Who was Ode to Joy by? That is not Mozart, I don't think. That shouldn't be. But Ode to Joy. Friedrich something. Schiller. Friedrich Schiller. But the Ode to Joy theme is Beethoven. Okay, so this is Beethoven. I think. Oh, did you know that it was Rhodesia's national anthem from 1974 until 1975? Yeah, it's in Beethoven's ninth. In the fourth movement. That's cool. Okay. Distract. Good distract. Okay. Can't wait till we play Among Us. That'd probably end up being next subathon. Not me, just like gently doing the little while I'm thinking. Just how I give my brain energy. Okay, I'm gonna try Ode to Joy one more time. I'll do it. Amazing, you're so talented. Well, that's very sweet of you, but oh my goodness, no, I am not. I slow learn. You would marry me just for my kalimba skills? Buddy, you need better standards. Make better standards, my goodness. Okay. Ta-da! That's all a man wants, kalimba. If you say so, my goodness. Okay. Hmm. A little bit jumbly at the end, so let's try that one all over again. Okay. Alright. Hmm? Sorry. Hmm. Okay, the end of that one. Alright. 2 more songs of my stuffs. You get an EP. I usually do when I'm practicing them. I do them twice through and moved on to the next song. So I've got 2 runs of Bonnie and 2 runs of Brahms. That's all that's left. What are we looking like, Fit? Are they back on? What's it looking like? Oh, a hydrate. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Aston. They are done for the night. Ah, darn. Okay. Internet also went out. Oh, that sucks. Yikes. Well, sorry they had to deal with that. My goodness. Okay. But I'm still gonna do this. I'm gonna go for it. We're here. I want to practice. I'm gonna practice. So here we go. And it's either I do it on stream or I end it and then immediately do the ones that I haven't practiced, because that's gonna happen. It's what I'm gonna do. So here we go. Sorry. Okay, restart. that again, and then we move on. Okay, last song, and we'll get very eepy before we head out, Fet. I'm sure you'll have who we'll go to, yeah. Okay, last one. I'll do it twice, but here we go. Hmm? Okay, very last kalimba go. Let's go. The end of our musics. Put the books away. Where are we going, Fet? We're wrapping up for the night. Wrapping up the stream. Oh, that was very nice and cozy. I felt very good. Okay, let's do the raid times. I'm doing a little dancey dance. Oh goodness, oh my god. Who are we headed to? Let's see. I am seeing nothing from Vet, and I am mildly concerned. Let's see. Oh, I was about to pick one. I was not far. Chaya was one of them. I wasn't totally sure. But okay, let's go with Chaya. Yes. Okay, let's get those raid messages going. Oh, Nayabun is in there right now. Okay, this is gonna be good. It's been a long time since we've been there. It has been a good bit. Okay, Cozy Frog Raid. Make sure to copy the raid message with emotes if you've got them, with hearts if you don't. But okay. There's a cute little photo of a old Pikachu for some reason up top. I don't know what's going on. I might not be allowed to do a copy paste in here today. Might be what's going on. Oh no, there's good. It was just me. Ha. Okay. Alright. Well, everybody, thank you for watching. Have good eeps. Take care. Hopefully, we see you soon. If not, that's okay. Thank you, everybody that joined us today. All the new followers and the new subs, those gifts. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay. Rating, rating, rating. Rating should be rating. Why is it not rating? Okay, now it's trying to be rating. Now let's go.